Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bonsai PopCast. Over a month of popcasting for you and your ears. I am your host, Mike.
And I'm Tyler,
the other host. And we're here today to talk about things, including anime, video games, and some YouTube stuff, which will be nice and interesting. Because, Tyler, nothing is fucking going on right now, Tyler.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I'm catching up on anime. I'm replaying games. Like, I'm doing nothing, man.
Yeah. I'm thinking about replaying. Not replaying, but continuing Yakuza, because I still have 1.5 games left that I haven't played. But it's like, I get really OCD about games like that. There's a lot of things to do. I mean, there's like a never-ending amount of things to do. How much time you get out of a Yakuza game is completely dependent upon how much time you put in. Like, you could just play it.
I was about to say, are you going to tell me that the amount of time I get out of a Yakuza game is the amount of time that I put into it? Because logically, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like, there's just so much shit to do. So I have tried to play multiple Yakuza games in a row, and I always get burnt out like halfway through the second one. So
you got to give it some time.
Yeah, you really do, because
it's like you got to let it percolate.
Yeah, it's like it would be like playing multiple Grand Theft Auto games in a row, but having like more to do than Grand Theft Auto gives you to do, which is kind of weird. And I don't know, the comparison between Grand Theft Auto and Yakuza is like it's like not really a thing. Like, they're not similar games at all, but they kind of are. I
get what you mean. It's like, not all open world games are the same. That doesn't mean there aren't similarities to how you might play them.
Right, exactly. Like, in Grand Theft Auto, you can do anything. You can kill anybody at any time, just fucking around.
Hookers and blow, man.
Yeah, but in Yakuza, it's not like that at all. And I think that's probably because it's a very Japanese game. I mean, most of them aren't even localized. You just play them in Japanese. And, nobody go around Japan just killing people with Uzis. Because you can't get an Uzi.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we guys, we tried for you. We went on Twitter today to see what the fuck is trending.
Looked. And by we, I mean Mike.
Yeah, and the only thing that's trending is more depressing shit. Like, we're about to get hit by some massive fucking hurricanes, which, hooray!
Yeah, I heard that we might get hit by a fucking asteroid right before the election.
What?
Yeah.
What? What is this all
about? Yeah, we might get hit by an asteroid right before the presidential election this year.
Oh my god.
2020, ladies and gentlemen.
Why didn't you bring up this article? Where is this shit? Who said that?
I just remembered it. I didn't even think about it until just now.
So what is this asteroid, and how bad is the impact supposed to be?
I don't know, but I bet we could look it up.
Asteroids are terrifying.
Really?
Depending on
asteroid election day is the second search. An asteroid will pass extremely close to the Earth before the election. That's on CBS News. Popular mechanics about the asteroid that will destroy the Earth right before election day. That seems a little on the nose.
Let's get some like National Geographic in here to tell us about this.
An asteroid is due to pass extremely close to Earth, just ahead of election day. Election day is underlined, so you know it's important.
Okay.
In November. But there's no reason to worry. NASA says the space rock poses no risk to our planet. Well, that's upsetting,
I guess. No. We don't want asteroids. Asteroids are bad because depending on how big they are, like, even if it's not big enough to destroy the planet, it could make all of our volcanoes pop like pimples. And that is fucking bad. Especially,
yeah, that does sound bad.
Seeing as, like, literally, for all of the nuclear warheads and terrible things that we have that we hide in existential horror from, like, the fucking Yellowstone National Park is by far the most terrifying thing in the entire world. Like,
that's hilarious. I've been to Yellowstone,
Yeah. Dude, when that thing blows, it's over, man. Like, it is over. We're talking something like millions of nukes worth of destructive power.
Yeah, whatever.
Just boom.
We'll be fine.
No, we won't.
Dead.
We'll all
probably
die.
Be dead.
America, the entire continent of North America, gone. Everything else, shockwaves, tsunamis, like we're talking.
Dude,
like
it's just the world saying that it wants to reset and start the game over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have been actively trying to figure out how to basically like kind of depressurize Yellowstone.
Well, let's just put a cork in it.
That's the opposite of depressurize.
I know.
But the other thing is like how much poisonous gas is under there, you know, like I don't know. It's the whole thing is crazy. I mean,
this is all going to tie into our video on Japan sinks this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, how do you depressurize a volcano without releasing like carbon monoxide? You know, at the very best, carbon monoxide. Like, do you make a funnel into space?
That's
and then
exactly
if you do,
what I was going to recommend. Actually, I was going to say you put a straw in it that goes to space.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But right, depending on how much shit leaks out of that. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, what if it just creates a fucking asteroid that falls and fucking blows up the world anyway? You know?
Well, like you got to do it a little bit at a time, right? Like you let out, a million whatevers gaseous states of gas, and then you stop and give it a chance to dissipate. Maybe put a giant fan up there in space where there's no air and blow it away.
You can't. You'd have to like put it in a balloon or something, you know, a giant balloon.
Yeah,
but that's
we just fill NASA's new hot air balloon spaceship.
The thing though about fucking, you can't get a hot air balloon into space, dude. It'll stop in the stratosphere, right?
No. NASA's got it, dude.
Or it'll freeze at the very least.
No, NASA's got it. It'll be great.
The sky is weird. But that's the other thing about volcanoes is like volcanoes just don't like erupt nicely. You know what I mean? It's not like, all right, everything comes out of the
like
top.
It's like a British volcano. It's like very polite. It's like, I'll get to it, but after the tea and crumpets.
Dude, British people are not polite. British people are rude as fuck. Sorry, Brits. You know it.
Yeah,
you know
it just right. Sorry, Canadian volcanoes. Does Canada have any volcanoes?
I don't know. I don't know dick about the geography of Canada other than it gets colder the farther you go up.
I think that's just the truth. Anywhere above the equator.
Yeah. Well, not really, because England and Japan are pretty warm. Japan's like right next to Siberia, dude.
Wait, hold on. There's a volcano in Canada called Mount Meager.
Mount Meager?
Mount Meager.
They're like, maybe if we just call it
one. Why is it called Mount Meager?
Maybe if we give it a tiny name, right? It'll think that it's a tiny volcano and won't blow up our great country of Canada, eh? Oh yeah, that sounds great, Gary. It'll never know.
And once a year we go up and give it a donut, eh?
Yeah. Give it some pancakes, some flapjacks, you know?
Pour some maple syrup in it.
Tell it about the hosers down at the bar. But yeah, so Canada's got volcanoes. There's volcanoes everywhere. I mean, you got a volcano like fucking not that far from you
Mount
at all.
St. Helen.
Yeah, but volcanoes don't just like pop off the top, you know, and it's like, we're shooting up in the air. Like they blow off sides of their mountains and shoot them like perpendicular.
It depends on the volcano, dude. There's different types of volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's different types of volcanoes. They're not all the same.
Yeah.
Like some of them spew out the top. Some of them just like lava down the sides. Like it depends on the volcano.
Well, it depends on the eruption, is what it is. Like it depends on if it's like a fucking violent ass eruption or not. Right,
but I think the eruption depends on how the volcano was formed.
That I know nothing about.
I could be wrong here. I should really ask my girl. She knows. She's like a fucking savant, volcano savant, and knows everything about them.
Volcanologist.
Yeah, but volcano savant is more appropriate, I feel like.
It's probably because she lives in existential horror of volcanoes, like we all should.
Yeah, like the super volcanoes. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, that's what Yellowstone is, dude.
Yellowstone's a super volcano. That makes sense.
It is. It's literally like it is.
I believe it.
It is the butthole of the world that is one day going to erupt in red hot diarrhea and poo particles that is going to cover our skies and burn us all alive. And it's 2020, everybody. We're all scared and just sitting in our homes and being like, man, when is this going to end and how is it going to end? Yeah, I don't want to get hit by
I feel like a super volcano eruption would be the right way to end 2020.
No, I don't want that, dude.
Nobody wants that.
I don't want to be turned into a fucking silhouette on a wall.
I don't know if you haven't noticed, dude, but the world doesn't care what we want this year.
That's true. Hence the hurricanes. If you are in Louisiana or Texas, duck and cover. There's shit coming your way, and then it'll eventually head up my way, which is fun. I was looking at the map of these hurricanes, just like watching them curveball up into New England. I'm like, yeah, this will be fun. It'll take out fucking Jersey, and great. So,
it's gonna make our work much easier. It's gonna make it really great for Mike to edit and write.
Oh yeah, dude.
We may have some late videos, people.
When hurricanes get here, like hurricanes are so bitchy when they get here. Like they've had time to dissipate over all of the other poor states. So by the time they get here, we get like, maybe 60-mile-an-hour winds with heavy rain, and that's it.
All right.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
That's not too bad.
It's not that bad. But Jersey gets fucking railed, depending on where the hurricane comes from. Like if it comes up Florida and then around the East Coast, like Georgia and fucking South Carolina and all that stuff, like Jersey tends to get like really, really slammed, which sucks. I mean, not that it doesn't suck that Florida gets hit, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying.
But that's your fault for living in Florida anyway.
Yeah. It's global warming that fucking wrecked Jersey. I'll stand by that. God's trying to smite that hellhole. But so besides that, the only thing that's going on is people are rallying to bring back early 2000s fashion for the 2020s.
Wait, really? Why?
I don't know, because I cannot think of a time that fashion was worse than in the early 2000s, dude. Can you?
What even is early 2000s fashion? Like, what's an example?
That's a great question. Okay, t-shirts over long sleeve shirts was a huge thing.
No.
Yeah. Remember that? That they got to the point where they built it in?
Yep.
You could just buy a shirt over a shirt.
You couldn't take it off. Like, it was sewn together. Yeah. It was like, no, these two shirts are meant to be.
It's one shirt.
You can't disconnect these two. There's probably somewhere where they have like zippers, and you could have disconnected them, like those cargo pants that they had that you can make cargo shorts.
Yep. There you go. That's another early 2000s thing. Zip off shorts. Pants that zip off into shorts.
Why are they bringing that back?
Fucking big puffy skate shoes were huge in the early 2000s.
I like skate shoes.
I mean, yeah, but you can still buy skate shoes that don't look like fucking anime shoes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, fair.
And they're better made and more comfortable. Let's see what else. Fitted hats with bent brims.
I'm trying to think what I would have worn in like middle school.
Jinko jeans,
navy blue on navy blue.
Yeah, a lot of cargo shorts and cargo pants. Like those were big jams in the early 2000s. Like the baggier your pants were, the better off you were. Like, the more pockets you had, the more things.
I feel like I wore baggy clothes in general. Like I feel like my shirts were baggy as fuck too.
Oh yeah, dude. I was like swimming in my clothes. I was so fucking skinny because I was so stressed out and anxious when I was a kid. Like that, I would have swam in normal clothes, but I also wore like shirts down to my mid thigh, and then the baggiest. I would wear my Uncle Carl's pants, who was fucking like a foot taller than me, Yeah,
like, dude, you looked like a fucking meth head surrounded by an obese person's clothing.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I was young and fresh. I didn't quite look like a meth head yet. I probably look more like a meth head now.
A meth head that takes really immaculate care of their face.
Yeah. Their skin and teeth.
Yeah, their skin in general.
Let's see, what else was big? Think of like Avril Lavigne and Green Day at the time.
Okay, so let me ask this, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of brands that I used to wear when I was younger that like my parents would buy because it was like the cool brands, and I'm wondering, is that just like a like Quicksilver, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Is a brand that I used to wear. Is that a 2000s brand, or is that just like a young person's clothing brand?
That was a 2000s brand. I mean, I'm sure Quicksilver are still making clothes, but
probably
in the early 2000s, skateboarding was as big as it ever was. It was like at its absolute pinnacle. Mm-hmm. So brands like Quicksilver, Element,
Element and Hurley.
Yeah, Hurley, like all of those skate / surf brands were huge.
And like I grew up in San Diego, so, prime hub for all of that.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you even had better access to all that shit. You had like, Santa Cruz clothes, Baker, fucking, what was Hawk's brand? Peralta.
I haven't heard of any of these.
Anyway, like, it was a big time for skate stuff. And then when it came to girls, it was like low-rise jeans, which I wouldn't mind seeing a resurgence of. Like, I like high-rise jeans. I like low-rise jeans. I just like butts. But I also have a thing for
like butts, man.
I also have a thing
any
for
way that you can shape it.
Yeah, like pelvic dimples are nice. Like, those are great. And spaghetti straps. Like, that was huge. Like, all the girls were getting sent home for spaghetti straps. But what the real problem with early 2000s clothing was like the colors. Like... Here, I have
Have the colors changed?
Yeah, they were really bright in the early 2000s. It was like, but it was
really?
like, there was like tracksuits, chicks wore a lot of tracksuits. There was Bermuda shorts. Uggs had just come in.
Oh my God, Uggs, dude.
Yeah, and then those hats that, like, I'm pretty sure they're made, like, it's like a little brim and then like a big baggy hat. I think you're supposed to put your hair up in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of shit like that. And it was just bootcut jeans, dude. All jeans were bootcut. It was like low-rise bootcut jeans.
But nobody wears boots.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like it went with the bagginess of everything. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
I just wear black now. I'm just jaded as fuck.
Same. I mean, I don't leave the house, so I just wear like gym shorts and a black t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing fucking pajama bottoms right now. Like,
yeah, it's got to the point.
My work attire is pajama bottoms and maybe a shirt, depending on the weather.
It's gotten to the point where I haven't been able to do laundry for so long that like every other week I buy a new pack of shirts. Like a new pack of Hanes shirts, and then wear them until I can't wear them anymore, and then just buy a new pack of Hanes shirts. So I'm up to like...
I empathize with that so badly because we also haven't been able to do laundry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's do you know there's a national coin shortage right now?
Mm-hmm. You were telling me about that.
How does that happen? How did we run out of quarters? Like,
because
how did the world run out of quarters?
Because everybody uses fucking cards, dude, and everybody's buying shit off of Amazon.
Okay, but so where did the quarters go? Where are they?
I don't know. People are holding on to them. It's all the protesters, man. They're stealing all the quarters to put in socks. So they could beat
civil
people
disobedience at its finest.
All the rioters, dude. It's all those rioters, man.
But seriously, I haven't done laundry in like a month, dude. And I think I've scrounged up 6 quarters.
Damn.
Which is enough for one load in the washer and one load. No, it's only enough for one load in the washer, and then I'm 2 quarters short for the dryer. So I'm waiting for a hot day where I can hang them up.
Dude, I haven't done laundry since this started. I'm not kidding, and I am not joking. I have not done laundry since March.
Oh, God damn it, dude. I was doing so well of not blowing out my mic.
Yeah. That's why I'm wearing gym shorts and I've been buying new underwear, which has been great because I've been able to experiment with all kinds of new underwear. I got some bikini briefs that are fantastic.
What are bikini briefs? Explain.
It's like a string bikini, but it holds your balls. Yeah.
So does it ride up your ass?
No, not really. In fact, it doesn't look good on my butt. I'm thinking about, instead of having a medium, going for a small. Because for some reason it's a little baggy on my butt, and I got a little bit of junk in the trunk, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Bikini briefs? That's what you said? Bikini briefs?
Yeah, like Hanes men's bikini briefs. Guys.
I see.
Yeah, so it's like a string and then like a junk pouch, and then you got a little butt. It's like a bikini.
They won't show you the back in the pictures.
Right, because it doesn't look good. I was really disappointed by that. Maybe I'll sew it with a clench in the middle, so it just kind of rides in the butt crack like those like hot ladies bathing suits. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those bathing suits.
Also, all the ones I'm seeing are leopard print.
I have maroon, black, and gray. I showed them to my grandma, and she was like, "You're getting fat."
Dude, I'm getting fat. Oh, God.
How do you not get fat right now? Devin bought an exercise bike, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was cheap, but she got it. So we have an exercise. She bought an exercise bike. I bought a dream catcher.
Difference in priorities.
Yeah.
I just want one fucking bikini. I just want to see what the back looks like. They won't show me anybody's ass.
It's just like a. I mean, like imagine kind of like.
I just want to see it, man. I just want to see it.
Well, anyway, while you're searching for that, Tyler, I would like to ask you, how was your anime week?
Thank you for waking me up.
Could you have done that any worse? You want to do a second take of that, or?
Nope. Sticking it in. Keeping it in.
It's going good, man. I actually kept in mind that I was like, hey, Mike's going to ask me how my anime week's doing. I'm going to watch some shit. And I did today, right before the podcast. So obviously I watched a new episode of ReZero that came out this morning. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but it was fucking dope. Shit happened. It was great.
Wait, what was
but more
this?
importantly, what was that?
Sorry, I like disassociated for a second. What show?
ReZero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen the new episode yet. Last episode was good.
The new episode's good too.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of assume I know exactly what happens, seeing as Garfield was getting kind of mad last time.
Yeah. So you know what's gonna happen for sure. Yeah. But it was very exciting and exhilarating, and some cool stuff happened at the end that I wasn't expecting. But I decided, okay, Mike's gonna ask me. I'm finally gonna start Decadence, and holy fuck, bud, that show. I am on the 4th episode. I got like halfway through it before we decided to start the podcast. You gotta watch it.
And this is
got to try it.
This is a new show streaming on Netflix.
No, Funimation and Hulu.
What?
Yeah,
I thought that. Okay, all right. So you gotta sell me on this because the title sucks. I'm just gonna
Decadence. Okay, so first of all, the title, as far as I know, means fucking nothing. I don't know why it's called Decadence.
Decadence? It's like if something is decadent. You know?
I know what decadent means.
Right.
But it's DECA-DENCE. It's not decadence like you know it. And it doesn't mean that. Decadence is the name of a giant mobile fortress.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah. The basic premise of the show, from what I can understand, because let me tell you, I'm not going to spoil it, but from episode 1 to episode 2, everything fucking changes that you thought you knew.
Right.
Like, they set up the world in episode 1, and then episode 2, they blow your fucking mind.
Okay.
And I was just like, what? Huh? And I'm pretty good at seeing twists and turns coming. I did not fucking see this coming. Right. So, but the basic idea is humanity's had a lot of fucking issues. They are now living on this mobile fortress because there's these wild sort of animal creature things outside. And the animal creature's blood is essentially an all-encompassing power source. So when they come across these things, they need to go out and kill them with specific equipment that drains their blood so that they can keep the mobile fortress moving.
This is like the most anime shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's anime as fuck, dude. It's super fucking anime.
All right.
And that's all I'm going to give you in terms of like the setting and everything. I want you to watch it. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I trust your opinion, you know.
It goes an entirely different direction than what I was thinking from the first episode.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've watched dumber shit than that and enjoyed it, like
oh yeah,
fuck God Eater and shit. It kind of sounds similar, at least in the general, basically in the world has been overrun by awful creatures kind of thing. So yeah, sounds pretty cool, and you know, you're liking it. So like Tyler
I'm all about it right now.
Tyler was even saying before we started that you know, he was really vibing on it. So I recommend giving that a shot because we'll probably cover it soon. This week we're doing Japan Sinks, which was really fucking good. But anyway, you've been watching anything else?
Well, obviously, like you just said, we both watched Japan Sinks.
Yeah.
Which like I don't really understand what all the negative hype has been about on that.
It's just depressing.
Yeah, but I mean, so what? Is it like stuff can be depressing and still be good? You know?
Yeah, I just think that right now, like people.
You ever seen Schindler's List?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, no. I don't want to sit through that shit.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, I guess I get it.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't think Japan Sinks is as fucking shitty as Schindler's List as far as like it's definitely not even up there.
I would
like,
hope not. I would hope that Japan Sinks isn't as bad as, you know, the genocide of Judaism.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
I assume that's what Schindler's List is about. I don't know.
I would watch Japan Sinks again before I watched Evangelion again. I would watch it again before I watched Requiem for Your Dream any day. Like, I didn't think Japan Sinks was that fucking depressing. I mean, there was some sad shit, you know, but it's like
totally.
It's like it was good sad. Like, you know, that anime actually made me feel things. I enjoyed that anime a lot.
I did too. Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad that I went in. Like, I had heard that people weren't happy with it, but I didn't do any like in-depth like research or like look for people's opinions. And I came out of it pretty happy with the experience.
Same. I had no idea that I thought people liked it. So I was surprised when we put out a channel post about it and people were like, I don't like it. It's a sad anime. It's sad. I don't like it. And I was like, what? Like, you can not enjoy being sad, but still enjoy the production. You know what I mean? The overall, because in my opinion, I think that it was a pretty optimistic show in the end. But I'm interested. So I wrote the script on this one, and Tyler was telling me that he would not have written the same script. So I'm interested in like, what would you have written about that show?
I mean, this is where we divide on scripts, and it's why we work so well together, is because you took it and you went down this cultural aspect and history of Japan, you know, and Japan's like essentially Japan's historical makeup of opinions with foreigners and how Japan is viewed the rest of the world and stuff like that, and how that's shown symbolically through the characters and through the show. And I would have gone into the individual struggles of each character.
Right.
You know, and that's typically how we end up writing, which is why we encompass a lot when we work together, is because like I'll do some in-depth character analysis, you'll do some overall cultural analysis, and then together we come up with a pretty fucking good video.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
For sure. Yeah, I was the show had so many interesting things to say, especially when it came to Japanese and foreign relationships right now, where because of the internet and, you know, the times that we live in with Japan's borders being, you know, open and welcoming, while Japan's citizens being not necessarily as open and welcoming. It's like, you go to Tokyo, you're going to be treated fine.
Right.
And you're not going to be not treated fine if you go anywhere else, just because Japanese culture is polite. It's
Right.
a lot of it is based around being polite. But the problem is that people aren't going to necessarily trust you. They're
Right.
going to be afraid of you.
There will be a respectful distance.
Yeah, exactly. And, one of the things that really resonated with me, that Gaijin Goomba had talked about before, was that it took him a really long time to get close to people in Japan. And I think that's really interesting, because it's like they just have this, especially out in the country, they have this distrust of foreigners, which that, like, I don't blame them at all. Like, my country's never been nuked, so I like, I don't have that same kind of fear. Like, I didn't grow up on an island.
It seems like America's biggest enemy is itself, Yeah.
I mean, and that was one of the things that I didn't get to talk about in the script nearly enough, is the difference between understanding Japan's fear versus like our own colloquial issues. Is like, Japan spent most of its existence completely cut off from the rest of the world, which is why it is such a unique and interesting culture. And because it was allowed to develop more or less by itself. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it grabbed a lot from China, which grabbed a lot from India. So you'll see a ton of influence there, but Japan really made it its own thing. And Japan's native religion of Shinto is its own thing. So much of the architecture and the shrines and, like, all the things that really make Japan are inherently Japanese. And it's such a cool place. But at the same time, it's like, they stepped up onto the world scene in, like, 1900, 1910.
Right.
And within 30 years, were a huge military superpower. I mean, granted, they did not have the resources to go up against the United States like they did. That was a mistake. They made rash moves, and their whole point was, like, we need resources, so we can't, protect ourselves and step up against somebody like the United States. And that's why they fucking left Japan and, like, jumped into China and the Philippines and all those places. Like, it was their intent to get oil, petroleum, shit that they didn't have. Like, Japan is relatively scarce when it comes to natural resources. They got a lot of gold, but besides that, they're kind of fucked, So, and then we, the United States, say what you will about it. I mean, personally, I think it was incredibly inhuman, what we did, but we fucking dropped not one, but two nuclear bombs on Japan, which was something that had never happened before. They had never been tested on human beings before. It was a test. It was a test to see what this thing would do. And the consequences from that, it was horrifying. And because of Japanese culture, the victims of these bombs were treated like garbage. They were ostracized from like socializing, Right. And it was just like, after that, I mean, how do you feel safe?
Yeah, I mean, it's a culture that has it's cultural trauma,
Yeah. Like, how do you feel safe? Your island is always fucking shaking, flooding, being overrun by storms. You're on a triple fault line that is a trench, which this is all stuff that I figured out in my research, but, like, 300 miles away from Tokyo, 3 tectonic plates converge, and it's all going down. So,
I mean, which is the basis for, Japan sinks.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like they were also talking in the show about how Fuji and stuff is on a rise. So it's very unlikely for Japan to sink. But there are places in Japan that can, will, and have sank before.
Right.
during the last major earthquake, I think in 2007 or something like that, a part of the country literally sank.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine.
I mean, California, dude, like your place you grew up, like that shit's gonna fucking break off and float away. You know?
Yeah, but that sounds great, man. Like, it's just gonna be its own little place. That's fine.
Yeah, it's really wild. And then, you know, after World War II, we occupied Japan for a very long time, and that occupation was not friendly. You know, we took all of their shit. Like we went into their, and I say we, I mean the American military, but during our occupation, we completely demilitarized Japan. And by that, I mean, we literally took all of their weapons, everything that they had, including their family swords.
That's
so
insane.
Yeah. So we went into their houses and took these family heirlooms from the samurai days. You know, we're talking like anywhere from 1800 and before, and took them home, dude. Like the Muramasa, the legendary samurai sword, was taken during that time, and nobody knows where it fucking went.
It's in some government vault somewhere.
No, that's the thing, is that, again, like before World War II, nobody knew anything about Japan, right? Because it had just
it was so isolationist.
Yeah, it just showed up. You know, and before you just weren't allowed to go. Like there were some people who went, you know, and they were either murdered or eventually taken into the society. But it's like we had no idea anything about their culture, their history, or their, you know, ideas of honor or family or anything that's really important to the Japanese. And it's like I watched this whole documentary on the sword, and some random private grabbed it, and then it disappeared forever. Nobody knows where it was. So it's probably sitting in somebody's fucking attic right now in like Ohio, you know, and nobody knows what they have. A world treasure.
Or it got like auctioned on like a black market, something or another, and some fucking collector in like Dubai has it or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's more likely that it's just sitting in somebody's attic, but again, you know, you never know. It's just like, it's just wild. It's everything that happened is wild. So, you know, Japan has these series of videos and content and shows that are about this existential horror of not only Japan dying or the country falling apart or, you know, being attacked, or there's also worries about, you know, economic policy in Japan. Like, what happens if we run out of money? We don't have the resources to fuel this modern society we have. We are completely dependent on other nations for their oil, you know? And that's something that the United States will never have to deal with. We'll never have to worry about oil. We own enough oil between Texas and Alaska to last us for an extremely long amount of time while we work out what the fuck to do, you know?
And yet we still fuck up the Middle East to get more.
Well, that's because we don't want to dip into our own stock, is really what it comes down to. Like, and then, I mean, in the 70s, you're a fucking history major. You should know all this shit. In the 70s, we had the oil crisis, which also hit Japan really hard. And that's where the first Japan sinks came from, was from the fear during the oil crisis. But
that makes sense.
I think was it Nixon? I think it was Nixon. Worked out this deal with Saudi Arabia, where oil would be priced on the American dollar. And somehow, it's been a while since I learned all this shit. Somehow that fixed our issue. It just like fixed the oil crisis and brought America like back to the forefront. And that's how like the 80s were as prosperous as they were. But then things started to go downhill when Bush came into power. And then I believe when Obama was in office, he cut the deal with Saudi Arabia, pissed him off. I don't know why. That's all I know. But yeah, just fucking crazy interesting stuff. And
I remember when we were like 16 and gas was getting up to almost $5 a gallon.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. When I was 16, 17, 18, gas was consistently over $4 a gallon.
Yeah, and it sucks because like that's when I had my first job.
Yep.
I worked at a Henry's Farmers Market.
Nice.
They don't exist anymore. They're Sprouts now. And more than half of my paycheck would go to gas.
It was brutal, dude. It was fucking
Yeah.
horrible, man. Like, not only that, but it was like gas was super expensive, but we were also going through a major depression at the time. Like, it was that was so much worse economically than it has been since. At least in my opinion, it was like I was 17, I was homeless, and I could not get a fucking job, dude. Like, there was nothing I could fucking do to get a job. I remember it was February. It was like my first time being homeless, and I was just out every day, like walking a mile into town, taking the bus to Amherst, taking the bus to Northampton, and walking from store to store to store, everything from Subway to mom and pop shops, and nobody was hiring anybody at all. Like, and people were telling me all this sob stories. They're like, oh, my son, he just came back from Iraq. I can't even hire him, like all this shit. It was fucking nuts, dude. It was not a good time. And it is cold.
Although I will say right now is probably the worst economic depression we've had since then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially now that the unemployment is over. Not over, but like, the extra unemployment, the extra 600 a week.
Yeah.
And it's back down to like 200 or whatever it is. People are going to be hurting.
Dude, I know that we try to stay away from this shit, because it's fucking depressing, but I cannot imagine being a kid right now. Dude,
I can't either, dude. Have you seen the pictures in schools?
No.
They look like fucking prisons.
I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I was listening to this fucking dude talk. He's from my town. We don't have a grocery store in town, but this fucking guy, he's like, yeah, sending my kids back to school. They're going on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I was like, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Like, what the fuck? He's like,
it's like partial schooling.
Yeah, they're trying to stagger them, and make sure that they got like people in there, and the kids can like, socialize a little bit. And we're doing a little bit of homeschooling at home, but it's not a big deal because our town's really small, so there's not a lot of kids there. We don't have any, COVID or nothing like that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, so school's opening in my town, but not in other towns around here. Like, it's just so fucking weird, dude.
Oh, yeah, and it completely depends on the district, too. Like, there's no uniformity at all.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I mean, this year, 2020...
Some schools are just back to normal, completely.
What?
Like, some schools are just back to normal, nothing changed.
Fuck that, dude. That's so dumb.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's really dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's like, it's how do you fix that, right? It's like... Kids need to socialize. Like this, it's such a formative time in their lives. Hey, kids live in abusive households.
Right? Here's like the crazy shit that's been going on. Because I was going to be a teacher, so I take a pretty big interest in what's happening with our education system in general. And essentially, the federal government said you have to put kids back in schools, or we are not going to fund you.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then said, figure out how to do it and keep them safe. So there's an article, and I can't remember where it was exactly. It might have been on like Medium or something, but it's a superintendent of a school district in Arizona that basically said, I don't know what to do. I live in a very small town, I need that money. I can't pay my teachers. Like, we can't pay we can't pay people like who rely on these jobs without that money. But if I open up schools again, kids are going to die. What do I do?
Dude, that is the shittiest thing that the government could have fucking
it's
done.
like a 3 or 4 page article that is the most heart-wrenching, like disturbing and upsetting thing I've read in a long time.
So shit.
Especially just like I don't want kids, Yeah. But
this is why
like teaching.
By the way.
Yeah, this is a good reason why. I don't want kids at all. But I like teaching. I like working with kids. Specifically like once they're in their teen years. Fuck kids under the age of 12. Yeah, sorry, but I don't care about them, and I don't want to care about them, and I don't want to know them.
I would teach high school.
Take them away.
Middle schoolers
I would teach high
stink.
school too.
They smell like shit. They don't.
Who does? High schoolers?
What? No, middle schoolers, dude. They're like just hitting that. I do not want to deal with like people getting their periods for the first time and like getting BO and like finding their first pube. Like, I don't want any of that anywhere around me. Like, I'll take a 15-year-old. 15-year-olds are they're getting to the point where they're balanced and their problems are more realistic. You know what I mean? But like, you cannot
Getting to the point, dude.
You cannot
Have you been
reconcile a middle schooler.
When was the last time you were in a high school?
Last time I was in a high school? Fuck. I mean, I dropped out when I was 16, so 12 years maybe. No, because I went back. It's hard to say.
Okay, well, basically, so when I was in college, right, which at this point was still fucking 6 years ago.
Yeah.
God, we're old. But when I was in college, I wanted to be a teacher, so I kept up relationships with my high school teachers. Because the original plan, I was like, well, okay, I can go back, and if they will let me, I have teachers that will let me, not substitute teach, but student teach with them at my old school. Yeah. So I had this whole plan laid out so that I would be able to do this like properly. I could stay at home, save money. Like I had it all planned out on how to do it. So I went back to my old high school fairly often during college. I haven't been back since I left college though.
You're not allowed. They won't let you in anymore.
Why not? Oh, really?
Yeah. No, you can't. You cannot visit a high school anymore, like as an adult, without a kid or something. You have to go through like a fucking full-on screening. Like you can't just walk in and be like, hey. Makes sense. Yeah. Ever since.
Yeah, I used to just go back all the time, and it was no fucking problem.
Yeah.
I guess we've had a lot of school shootings since then.
Yep.
But even in college, and like just coming out of college, if you look at a high schooler, you're like, holy fuck, you're young, bud.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You are not a person yet. Sorry.
You're a baby. Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Well, anyway, Ty, have you seen any other anime before we continue to talk about this shit? Because we do have there's some really interesting stuff I want to get into after our anime discussion.
Yeah, sure. The only other thing is, and I haven't actually gotten a chance. I just started it just to see if I wanted to get into it, and I do. Netflix just came out with The Great Pretender.
Oh, is that what people are talking about on Twitter?
Yes, that's what people are talking about.
That's the Netflix one, okay.
Yeah. And it looks interesting, for sure. I only watched like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, I have some stuff I need to do. And I forgot about it until just now. But of the 5 minutes that I saw, I liked it. It seems interesting.
Okay. Yeah, people are like talking about that a lot on Twitter. It's hard because I never know if like it's just that we follow like super weebs or if like these people's fingers are actually on the pulse. It's always hard to tell. So it was good though. Like what's the premise?
Again, I've watched 5 minutes of it.
Oh, okay. All right. So you didn't get a good.
Yeah, I just it engaged me right from the beginning, but then I had to like work basically.
Oh,
you know, I've had a busy week, man, between working with our editing over the weekend, and then I've been doing editing for Grant, and then I'm gonna have editing at the end of the week. I've been editing every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a jam in this hammy slam. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying. Slim slam, bim bam.
You jive, turkeys. We gotta come up. We didn't release that other podcast yet. Nobody's gonna give that guy a name. I need that character to have a name. Okay. So for my fucking anime week, I've been watching a bunch of stuff. So I'm continuing watching March Comes In Like a Lion. I'm really enjoying that show. I'm up into season 2 now, so I think I'm on episode like 20 something.
Oh, that's the other thing. I finished Food Wars.
Oh, you finished Food Wars?
Yeah.
Nice. So now you're waiting. Now you're up to date like everybody else.
Yep, season 5, episode 8, and now I'm waiting. Season 5 really went off the rails a little bit, though.
Yeah, waiting for anime. I think I stopped at the
Fucking
end
underground chefs. Like, what is this bullshit?
I think I stopped at season 4 because season 5 hadn't started yet. So
That might have been a good call, dude.
Yeah.
Like, season 5 is... they're bringing in chefs from the underworld that, like, use, like, chainsaws to fucking like cooking shit. It's the most ridiculous thing
because it wasn't anime enough. Awesome. I'll have to check it out. I'm interested.
Oh yeah, watch it for sure, but it's just like, what the fuck, bud? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah. But yeah, so I've been watching March Comes In Like a Lion. It's a very good show. It's kind of a hard sell because it's like, I guess I would call it a slice of life more than a sports anime. I mean, I guess it technically is a sports anime, if you consider chess a sport, which I don't know.
I mean,
if it
slice
is.
of life interests me more than sports, so.
Well, I mean, some sports anime are really good. Like, you know,
that's fair.
I mean,
but just in general, for my tastes, like, I don't give a fuck about sports.
Yeah, like I watched a little bit of Haikyuu, or Hyaku or whatever, I don't know, the fucking volleyball one, and that one's pretty good actually, believe it or not. I mean, everybody has said it was good, so I'm not surprised that it was good, but like, even I don't like sports anime generally. I'm not a big sports guy. I would love to see a sports anime about hockey. That would be really cool. I feel like they could do really good with that, but I don't think hockey is very big in Japan anyway. So fucking March Comes In Like a Lion is a very emotional show. It's basically you got the main character Ray, who was kind of never really treated well. You know, kids never talked to him. He wasn't necessarily bullied, but he was just kind of ignored.
Just outcast sort of deal.
Yeah. His parents died when he was young. His parents and his sister died when he was young, and now he's living on his own in Tokyo for reasons that I don't want to spoil for people. But you know, he was taken into a family of shogi players, and he showed a lot of promise. So, you know, his adoptive father like taught him a lot about shogi, and now he's a professional shogi player, and he's kind of finding his way, learning what being a professional really means, trying to figure out why he's actually playing shogi, trying to figure out if he likes shogi, while also kind of maturing a little bit. It like you slowly watch this kid grow over time, and then there's this other family that he goes to now and again, which is 3 sisters and a grandfather, and the sisters' parents have died, so the oldest sister is taking care of the younger 2, and over time this relationship develops between them, and it's very sweet, it's very cute. They explain a lot of things about shogi. The cats are personified, which is hilarious. I definitely recommend watching it in Japanese, but from what I know, the dub isn't that bad. And it's just a good all around show. And you get really into the characters, and kind of, it's really nice watching this outcast kid just kind of grow up and, like, you know,
Find his way.
Yeah, become a more full person, and also watching, you know, another young person come up and trying to help them where other people didn't necessarily help him. And it's all very sweet and nice and sad. There's a lot of sad, but it's good. It's good stuff. And then
that sounds good, man. It kind of sounds like, and like, I could be totally wrong right now, but like it sort of sounds a little bit like a Mob in that respect. Just like somebody who like definitely has some talent, but like is lacking in other areas, and like becoming more rounded as a person. It is
a lot like that. Yeah, I think it definitely has some Mob vibes, for sure. You know, without all the crazy action and stuff, though. They've kind of put action in a different way. Like, it's hard to explain, but like when the shogi gets really intense, because shogi is all mind games. You know, it's like shogi. Again, it's Japanese chess. and it's way more complicated than regular chess because you can return pieces that you captured from the other player. And that just brings a whole new level to the game. You know, like for all the patterns that you can do in chess, there's 18 bajillion more in shogi, depending on what pieces you capture and where you place them. And, you know, each piece can be placed a different way. Like if you want to place a pawn, you can place it anywhere on the board, as long as it has another move. And as long as it's not in a slot where another pawn is. So like in the row, like you can't put a pawn in front of a pawn or behind a pawn. And then like with your rook or your bishop, you can put those anywhere on the board. So you can like stick a bishop in somebody else's end and take something out and then promote it.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, dude. Shogi is brutal, man. It is a brutal game, and it's not nice like chess where you have to tell people when they're in check. So yesterday,
you can just be like, you lost.
Yeah, literally. Like if you don't notice that you're in check and you move the wrong piece, you're fucked. You know. So it's like, and Devin got me yesterday really good. She put a lance down, and I thought she was going after my promoted bishop. So I moved my promoted bishop. I did not realize my bishop was directly in front of my king. She just fucking took it out. She was like, "You lose," and just threw all the pieces off the board. It's like, fuck, that was just stupid of me. But yeah, it's a good time. Other than that, I've been rewatching some Dragon Ball. Because I've been reading Dragon Ball. I got the box set for the manga. I've really been enjoying the manga. So I decided I would go back and revisit some of my favorite parts of Dragon Ball. And holy shit, is there a lot of fucking filler in that show, man? Like,
yeah, man.
Wow. And not even in a way where it's like, this episode is just filler. It's like, each episode is like covering a chapter of the manga, but they just add things into the episode to fluff it up. And it's not bad. It's just like, it takes a long time to get through fucking arcs, dude. Like I fell asleep last night at the end of the Goku versus Tien Shinhan arc at the World Tournament. And I woke up and Goku wasn't even fighting Piccolo yet. And I was like, what? I got through the manga chapters in like fucking half an hour. You know?
and that was like 8 hours of sleep that was playing.
Yeah, more. No, wait. Yeah, 8 hours of sleep. Maybe 10.
So that's like if each episode is like 23 minutes. So just assume that like it's 3 episodes for an hour. You went through about 24 episodes.
Yeah.
While you were sleeping.
Yeah. And
holy fuck, can you imagine having to like be a kid and wait 24 episodes?
I can, because I did.
Yeah, like, I know.
I did, dude. It was fucking gnarly. And then I revisited some of Dragon Ball Z. Actually, I started at the World Tournament, the only World Tournament in Dragon Ball Z, where because I wanted to see the Goku versus Vegeta fight. And that also took for fucking ever to get to. I was like, holy shit. And what I noticed is after reading the manga, how bad the animation is in so much of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I was fucking shook, dude. I was like, holy crap. Like this is low tier animation, dude.
It's kind of surprising how popular it got considering.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's a good anime. It really is. And when you're a kid, it's like there's nothing better than Dragon Ball.
That's the thing, is that when you're a kid, it's fucking amazing, you know?
But it was, and like you're just waiting to see the awesomeness. You know, it's like Dragon Ball Z started clickbait. I swear to God. You know, like the episode is like Goku's final clash. And then the next episode is like Goku in trouble, and then the next episode is victory for Goku ? And it's just like one continuous fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. I totally remember that.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. And you buy into it. Like when you're a kid, you're like, all right, this is gonna be the one dude. Like he's gonna beat Frieza. You know, like 25 episodes later,
and
he's
then
still
literally a
Frieza.
month later, you're like, oh, he's gonna do it.
Yeah. It's so fucking ridiculous. And then obviously I've been keeping up with ReZero, but I didn't watch the new episode today. Last
it
episode
just
was good.
came out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. We're getting that Beatrice.
But this week, dude, you're gonna watch Extra Olympic High Close.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Extra Olympic High Close is finally coming.
Yeah, Bonsai Pop Patreon viewing party. We're watching the entire thing. I'm so excited.
I don't have a choice anymore. So next week, get excited for my opinion on Extra Olympic High Close.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. I'm so excited to see your amazing reaction to this show.
Yep. And then
She has Devin to film it.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've also been watching fucking G Gundam still. So I'm pulling a bunch of things together. I've been watching a lot of anime, really enjoying it. Been reading manga. I wanted to shut off the light last night and just chill, so I started reading Dragon Ball Z in color, which holy shit. Like if you haven't read Dragon Ball Z in color yet, I highly recommend it. It is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm reading it on an iPad through the Shonen Jump app, which you should absolutely get. We are not sponsored by Shonen Jump, but it's very important that Shonen Jump continues to make money so that they continue to output good manga that turns into good anime. And it's only $2 a month for more manga than you could ever read. I mean, every single episode.
It's like stupid cheap too.
Yeah, stupid cheap. And yeah, it doesn't have everything, but $2 a month, I mean, for fuck's sake, that's literally less than a quarter. It's 50 cents a week.
Not. It's 50 cents a week. Yeah.
For all of the best manga that's going on right now, and a lot of classics. They have every single issue of One Piece. I mean, that alone is worth it. So it's definitely check that out if you don't have the Shonen Jump app. Because
my main issue is that I can't spare the quarters, man. I need my quarters right now.
Oh my god! Imagine if phones had like quarter slots in them to pay for apps. I don't know why that's funny.
How would that work?
I don't know. They just eat the quarters. They like synthesize the quarters down, and then transport them over to turn the quarters into credit, and then transport the credit to.
Yeah, that reminds me. I had a fucking thought. Like I had a shower thought.
Okay.
The other day, it was so fucking. So, I'm Jewish, right? So my girlfriend and I talk about Judaism a decent amount because I like to make a bunch of really bad Jewish jokes. Mm-hmm. And I had this thought because we were talking about Moses, because I was bringing up Moses to refute something, as I do, because it's my right. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I bet Moses did like the 10 plagues on Egypt to like, let the slaves go, all that shit, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I had this thought. I was like, what if Moses didn't actually do anything, and just the year that all those plagues happened is just 2020 being reincarnated? Like that shit year that Egypt has is just this year again.
Or before? Do you mean again?
Or before? Yeah. It was the original 2020 is what I'm saying.
2020. Who's going to be our Moses?
I don't know, dude.
It's up to you, Ty. You need to lead the Jewish people out of 2020.
Let my people go.
You got to get a spaceship though this time. Earth is not safe.
Yeah, Earth's not safe. Like if I'm parting the seas, everything's going to be dead.
Yep.
I need to get a cool walking stick.
If you part the seas, Japan will sink. And so will Miami. On second thought, go for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, actually.
Why Miami? Sorry, Japan. You were a casualty of war.
It was worth it, though.
You heard it here first. Hashtag Tyler is Moses.
Hashtag Tyler is Moses. Oh my god.
Tyler,
if we get
Moses.
enough of them, I'll show my mom and I'll be like, check it out. She's like, what is this blasphemy? I'm like, don't worry, I'm just the next Messiah. And BD.
Dude, I'm gonna lead our people out of 2020, ma. What do Jewish people call their moms? Is there a Jewish word for mom?
Yeah, there absolutely is.
What is it?
I don't fucking know.
Come on.
Pull
Pull out of your butt.
Let me.
You got it. You got it, Ty. Bring out that Jewishness.
I know it's wrong.
You're full blood Jew, man. You should know this shit. Ryan has an excuse.
Wait, who has an excuse?
Ryan. He's only half Jewish, right?
Yeah, it's just Mutter.
Mutter?
Yeah.
That sounds German.
Well, it's Yiddish for mother.
Weird. What does Yiddish have a like a pedigree, like where's the language come from? Like,
I mean, I think German partially comes from Yiddish.
Oh.
Like like kindergarten, you know? Kinder is children in Yiddish.
Okay. Interesting.
You know?
Wow, that's weird. I never really I thought the Jews were from like the Middle East / Mediterranean / it's like a little armpit in the Mediterranean, right? Between the Middle East and Europe. Germany's kind of far away from that. It's like 500 miles, right? Easily.
I don't know.
Because like, okay, so
Yiddish, I just looked it up. Yiddish developed from a dialect of German. So there you go.
What the fuck?
Yep.
I gotta look into this shit because that genealogy of like languages fascinates the fuck out of me. So you're telling me I don't know how that works. That's super weird because the Germans were like not good guys back then. You know what I mean? They were the Goths and the Visigoths and they were like tribal people that came down into Western Europe and just like butt fucked everybody. So how did Yiddish come from a Germanic dialect? And English is Germanic and Latin, right? So in Latin, mother is mater, right? But then in German, you know, mother is something like Mutter or Mutter, you know, something like that. So it still has that MT kind of genealogy going into it, right? But then we have words like crack. Crack is a Germanic word. You can tell because it has the K's in it. Pretty much anything with a K is a Germanic word, because there wasn't any K's in Latin. So I don't know. It's fascinating. I took a lot of Latin in high school for no reason other than to be able to talk about bullshit like this. So
that being said, though, Hebrew is very different from Yiddish.
Oh, what?
So like Hebrew.
Now you're
mother
fucking
is
me
Ema.
up. So what the fuck is Yiddish, dude?
It's another Jewish language.
There's 2 Jewish languages?
Yeah, dude, we didn't have enough of one. Listen, Jews don't like talking to each other. Family reunions suck. So the more languages we have that we can't understand each other with, the better.
See, that's the opposite from what I know about Jewish people. Like whenever I went to a Jewish family's house, it was like the nicest, most happy.
Yeah, because you're a Gentile. We have to make it look that way for you.
Oh, I see. It was like it was like going to like a Latino house, but with white people.
It would be the same thing if you went into a Japanese household, right? While you're there, everything's very respectful, very nice. Everything looks great, right? Then you leave, and the mother slaps the kid and was like, "How could you be so disrespectful?"
I see.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same idea.
We used to have, my mom had this friend when I was growing up who was Hispanic, and we would go over her house for like certain holidays. Probably things like Cinco de Mayo and stuff like that. And holy fuck, dude, like Hispanic people know how to party, man, especially when it comes with their family, dude. Like they get everybody together. Like, I mean, like their fucking ancestors down to like their great grandparents are there. Like every uncle, cousin, like fucking everybody is there. Everybody's always chit chatting up a fucking storm. They're bumping music. Like, man, family is everything to them. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a big deal in Latino culture in general.
Yeah.
Like what I consider like my second family down in San Diego is my friend Nicole's family, who her dad, I believe, grew up in Mexico, and then her mom grew up in like LA.
Okay.
But like the shitty part of LA, like the part with like the Crips and Bloods and all that shit.
Compton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know for sure if she grew up in Compton, but she has stories where she would always date the gang leader's number 2, like the second person in charge, because
Number
they
2.
wouldn't die, so she would still be protected.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Like shit like that.
Hashtag fuck LA.
Hashtag fuck LA.
Hashtag Boston.
Honestly, that should
over
just
LA.
be a trending hashtag at all times.
Yeah. Sorry, all of our friends that live in LA, but come on, LA sucks.
LA sucks.
LA sucks.
LA is not good.
Sucks. I'm trying to think of any other anime things that I've been doing.
I got a bunch of figures.
Oh yeah, you got a bunch of figures. You got to
Yeah.
put those on Instagram, dude.
I do.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I just hate using social media, man.
Sorry, you got to
Like,
do it, bro.
I already took the pictures of them.
Yeah,
And I just haven't posted them because I'm like, I'd have to open the app to do that.
you got to take better pictures. I saw that picture
What?
you put on Twitter. You got to take better pictures, man. Get Amy to help you.
No.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
Let's take a second to talk about Patreon. Okay, guys, so as you know, we always take a minute to talk about Patreon because Patreon is what pays the bills, and we try to make it interesting for you. We try to make it fun and enjoyable. So we have set up this thing on the Discord called Patreon Testimonials, where anybody in the Patreon can come in and just, if they want to, this is not anything demanded by anybody. They are completely welcome to just drop a little blurb about the Patreon, because it's one thing to hear from us, that's the greatest community on the web, but it's another thing to hear it from people who are actually inside of it. So one of our friends, Tiny Kitten, wanted to say this. She says, this is the first Patreon I ever joined, and I knew I wouldn't regret my money going towards the wrong people. I struggle with depression, often feel like I can't be emotionally unstable and also emotionally distant at times. I also tend to close myself off at the idea of making new friends since I have an attachment to the ones I have now, but distance-wise, I'm hours away from my friends back home. I was lonely and depressed while being in quarantine and wanted to have consistent conversations. I was yearning to have people to talk to. I'd been watching Bonsai Pop videos for a while and had been meaning to join the Patreon, but never got around to it. I have no regrets. It took me a while to get into the swing of things, but waking up every morning to talk to you all was what drove me to get up every morning and not just lay around in depressions. My day actually had somewhat of a meaning despite not being able to work for a few months, and now here I am back at work, and the saddest thing to come out of it was not being able to constantly be here. But I'm happy to be part of this virtual family full of people that I haven't even met but feel comfortable in knowing and talking to. Man, I really just love you guys. And boom, bam, there it is. That was so sweet.
Yeah, it was super sweet.
And we got like a lot more. We got so many. Like every time I read one, I feel bad because I'm not reading another one. Like people are fucking awesome. So if you guys are
I read
interested,
through them all.
Oh, what was that?
I read through them all because it's just like, it's such a good pick me up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, definitely. I just meant like on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, or if you just want to meet our dope ass patrons who are all great people, I recommend checking out our Patreon. Our lowest tier is $1, and that'll get you right into the Discord server and get you some extra content as well. And then they go up from there pretty slowly. You know, it's $3, $9, 20, and then 50. And for $9, you get $9 is kind of like our bundle deal. Like everything above there is like shout out type stuff. But $9,
all the events that we do, everything that we put into the experience that is Bonsai Pop is $9.
yeah, which that includes the watch parties, that includes the extra podcasts, that includes the Patreon exclusive show, that includes like all of our updates and everything like that,
And editing streams that we've been doing, or you get to like have input on the videos as we're making them, all sorts of stuff.
yeah. So check it out if you're interested. If not, that's totally cool. Thank you for listening. Moving on. There's been a major development. Somebody who the internet knows as Leafy is here is no longer here, Tyler.
No,
He's no longer here.
We're all so sad.
He's gone. He's gone.
Oh no! Actually, I think he's on Twitch now.
Is he on Twitch? That's funny.
I'm pretty
Of course
sure.
he is. That's something he would do. So basically, this is a deal. All right, Leafy is a little bit of a legacy YouTuber at this point. During 2014 to 2015, he came to prominence during the DramaTube era. So this was the time when, you know, grade A, under A, fucking H3H3 got big, Keemstar became a household name. You know, this was the prime time of DramaTube. It's when, you know, Minecraft YouTubers stopped being Minecraft YouTubers and started talking shit about each other. It was an interesting experience, to say the least, if you paid attention to it. And all of these YouTubers end up making millions, becoming super famous, having millions of subscribers. And out of all of them, there was Leafy, who was vitriolic, young, kind of cringed, like not very well spoken. He's got a little bit of a nasally voice. You know, he was just, out of all of them, he was definitely the most poisonous, I would say, in everything that he did. You know, he made fun of the mentally challenged. He made fun of people with weight problems. He was just vicious, you know?
Nothing was off the table. In fact, if something was off the table, he was almost more likely to cover it.
Yeah, exactly. He was extremely vicious, and I think part of that came from his age, you know, and competition, because he was dealing with H3 and Keemstar, who are older, you know, and obviously, ironically, more mature than he is, and you know, he ended up making a lot of fucking enemies and basically got bullied off the platform, more or less. You know, it got to the point where iDubbbz did a content cop on him, which is a series where iDubbbz basically goes in and picks apart people's content and just dunks on them really hard. You don't want to get content copped. Not that I think,
and that might be the biggest one too.
The biggest content cop.
Yeah.
Well, it's gone now. It got taken off of YouTube.
No, I mean, it's up. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, is it? I thought it got taken down. Maybe he
iDubbbz TV content cop. Oh wait, no, that's the Leafy response.
Yeah, no,
that one. The response video has 16 million views.
Yeah.
So the original probably had over 20 million.
Yeah. So Leafy was a big deal. His fan base was fucked. Like, they were so fucked. They would go everywhere and hiss and like in the comments and stuff. It was just like, it was a wave of you know, the worst people on the internet, the incels and the fucking children, and you know, it was just so bad. So yeah, he got shut down really hard and he left, but you know, he made his millions and bounced, and you know, he did what he did, and that's all we can really say about that. You know, it was a different time. YouTube allowed that kind of stuff back then, and you know, if that's how you're going to make your money, that's how you're going to make your money. Personally, I kind of see it as bottom feeding, but is what it is. And ironically, bottom feeding in that way will make you a lot of money. Not so much anymore. So earlier this year, Leafy came back, just popped back up out of fucking nowhere. It's been years since anybody's heard from him.
Groundhogged it, dude.
Yeah, he just showed back up, and it went unnoticed by me. You know, like I was very invested in what was going on back then, because I was just starting YouTube at the time, and you know, that was like the big deal. And I had this friend that was starting YouTube at the same time as me, and he has switched his whole shit up to be like a drama YouTuber. That's a long story. Anyway, he stole a joke of mine and fucking sold it for a lot of money. But besides that, you know, I was just interested in what was going on. I'm also a pretty big fan of H3H3, though. This whole issue that's happening does kind of have something to do with H3H3 a little bit, which I find it's all very interesting. So yesterday, Tyler and I were doing the Super Saiyan 3 podcast, and we started talking about this, and I decided that I was going to research it for this episode of the Bonsai
you started
podcast.
talking about it, and I was trying to fucking end the podcast.
No, you brought up Leafy being gone. That is in the audio. You brought it up. I was the one who went into like figuring out what it was about. And so what happened was I sat through 11 Leafy videos yesterday night after we got off. Dude, I don't. So there's a Twitch streamer called Pokimane, who a lot of people know about Pokimane. You know, she's had her own issues, and Leafy, after he came back, decided at one point that he was going to go after Pokimane. And honestly, more than Pokimane, he went after her fans, which honestly, I watched the videos and they were really fucking funny. Basically, the issue with Pokimane is that her content sucks. She's very bland, and she is very she's very intense about not being a booby streamer, right? Which,
okay,
there's nothing wrong with being a booby streamer. Like, go out and make your stacks. But like, that is her thing. You know, she doesn't overly sexualize herself to the extreme like a booby streamer would.
Is also totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but to say that one is bad and to say that one is not bad is
just people are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, you're kind of what's the word? What's that thing? Virtue signaling, you know, or whatever. Like trying to make yourself seem above that, you know. And ironically, most of her fans were what people consider simps, right? So it was a bunch of males who were really attracted to her, that showered her with praise and affection and money because they were really attracted to her, right? And again, dude, guys, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to call you simp. Everybody else is, but I'm not going to, you know, it's whatever. Do what you want. There's nothing wrong with having a fan base like that. If that's how you make your money, that's how you make your money. And if you want to waste your money on, you know, giving this person who has millions of dollars more money, then that is absolutely your fucking prerogative. Go for it. But the fact that all of her audience is simps and she's going so far out of her way to be above being a quote unquote booby streamer is just ironic, you know? And then she did something that was really bad, which basically anytime she found anybody saying anything negative about her, she copyright struck it.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So she did it live on stream. So she was going through YouTube and wrongfully copyright striking people's videos left and right, and then like making fun of them and like harassing them on her streams.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Yeah. So Leafy made these videos about her and making fun of her fans, especially her tier 3 subs. It's honestly like the problem with Leafy is that he is so vitriolic that he will attack somebody's looks and appearance and stuff like that. Like, he called Pokimane ugly. Pokimane is not ugly. Okay. She is attractive. You know, she's classically attractive, right? She's just a good looking girl. Do I think she's the hottest thing that ever walked the earth? Fuck no. Do I think she's ugly? Absolutely not. She's not, you know, but he called her ugly because he was being a dick, you know? But his major thing was like, you know, to all her tier 3 subs out there, she has a boyfriend, you know, like she has a boyfriend. And this spiraled over a couple of videos. And, you know, there's this other really funny thing where basically like she has this like fucking secret police on her Discord that are like insta banning people that you can't go into her Discord and have your name be Leaf. You will be insta banned.
Dude, she's got like the dialy.
Seriously, it's fucking crazy. And it was tested. Like there was this whole thing going on behind the scenes where people were speed running how fast they could get banned from Pokemon's server. The current world record.
Amazing.
The current world record is 5.6 seconds.
Wow.
To get banned from her server. So, yeah, it became a big thing. And then, Pokimane.
In contrast, people, we have one mod, and I don't even know why we have a mod.
I don't know either. It was for some reason. I think it was so Cole could help out new people coming into the server. But yeah, so all of a sudden Pokimane takes a month vacation, right?
Okay.
And disappears. So, Leafy's like laughing about this shit. And basically, his whole point was that like Pokimane her content isn't that good and you're wasting your money on her. And she has a boyfriend and she's using, her looks to take your money, which that does not violate terms and conditions of YouTube. His vitriolic commentary on top of it violates terms and conditions of YouTube. So he was banned for harassment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's gone. The thing is, though, is that this opens up an interesting precedent because H3H3 recently did a set of videos on Keemstar, which very much attacked Keemstar as a person, right? So on YouTube
Well,
now...
actually, Leafy's videos were based off of Ethan's.
Yeah.
Like the titles and everything.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was totally
So I
making fun of
assume the
Ethan.
content too.
Huh?
Like the titles and the thumbnails and everything were based off of the H3 videos.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Keemstar. So I assume that the content was also at least somewhat similar.
Oh, it was so actually, and this is the thing is like a lot of the videos that had Pokimane in the title had nothing to do with Pokimane. In fact, a lot of it was Leafy talking about the stock markets.
What?
Yeah, so I guess when Leafy left YouTube, he just started working in the stock market.
Okay.
And he's very well versed on stocks and trading. And I actually, yeah, I was like listening to him. I was like, this motherfucker sounds smart, dude. Like, and he was talking about luck and like, how he grew up around, in northern Utah around Vegas and stuff. And like, how much luck plays into your life and shit. And like talking about the percentages and chances of luck and how like all this crazy stuff. Like it wasn't bad. Like most of his content wasn't that bad. Like he was actually kind of trying to educate kids on stuff. And like compared to what he was like before, his content wasn't anywhere near as offensive as it used to be. I mean, he still said retard. He still said faggot, like he was still saying like really like shitty things that shouldn't be said to an audience that probably isn't mature enough to be like, okay, that's, he's just being edgy, like, So there was that, but also you can't get banned from YouTube for saying things like that, especially not like, it's not like he called anybody the F word or like, it said anybody specifically, was the R word or, you know what I mean? Like, so H3H3 though has these videos where he's calling out Keemstar and rightfully so. Like, I don't think that H3H3 shouldn't be allowed to make those videos because I think Keemstar is a fucking piece of shit. That's my own opinion though. And
I fully agree with you though.
yeah. And like, I mean, not that we're anywhere near that size, but like, don't go out and attack Keemstar. Let me attack Keemstar on Twitter. I'll do that all the time. You don't have to do that. I got you.
Mike's like, I'll hold down the fort.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
worry, guys.
Yeah.
I got artillery for days.
Yeah. And we're not on his fucking radar anyway, but,
no, we're not.
Like, so these videos that are directly attacking Keemstar absolutely violate terms and conditions of YouTube. So the question is why are those videos allowed to stay and Leafy's not allowed to stay? And Keemstar attacks people all the time. That's his job, dude. That's the news. So it's like, why is Keemstar allowed to stay? Like, why did Leafy get the boot? And also, Leafy was on trending every time he put a video out. And then YouTube would age gate his video, which immediately takes it off of trending. And then he would bitch on Twitter, and then YouTube would un-age gate his video, and he'd go back on trending, and then it would get age gated again. So it's like, what is YouTube doing? What?
It's the same thing YouTube has always been doing, dude. Their entire system is completely arbitrary. And we know this. We have known this for years.
Yeah.
If you think that YouTube has a set like set guidelines or set rules for what isn't okay, you're fucking blind.
Yep.
It's not true. And the biggest proof of that is that our fucking domestic our domestic girlfriend video is demonetized and our Rotskidoji video is monetized.
Yep. One is
After
the hentai.
they both got hit and got reviewed manual reviews.
Yeah. Rotskidoji is a hentai. And domestic girlfriend is a semi-erotic slice of life. And domestic girlfriend is demonetized. Rotskidoji is remonetized. And they both were manually...
Literally, Rotskidoji has scenes where we were censoring with Issei's head from High School DxD because there was so much tits and penises and nudity and sex going on screen. That video has to have 1,000 dicks in it.
Yep. The video of 1,000 dicks. Overfeed. It's called Tentacles Are Good.
Monetized. Suitable for all advertisers.
Oh my god.
Coke, get on there.
YouTube is broken as fuck.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, and we are dealing with blowback right now from a video that we released 2 months ago that was in support of BLM. And that is like it. The second we put out that video, almost everything on the channel sliced in half.
Yep.
And it's
I actually I just wrote the Patreon pitch because I realized that we didn't have anything written for the Japan Sync script.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it a little differently this time. So I wrote about what's been going on the channel and essentially YouTube's own form of censorship being, hey, that's political, that's controversial, that's not family friendly. We're going to cut your views in half for
everything
for an unknown period of time until you learn your lesson.
Maybe forever. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Enjoy building your view velocity back up if you can.
Yeah. If you want to go to our channel and look at the videos, go to Afro Samurai, look at the videos before Afro Samurai, then look at the videos after. And it's a very, very obvious line where our channel is suddenly not in the good graces of YouTube.
Yep.
And the views suddenly just get cut.
Yep.
And it's because of that video. We're like, very, very positive or pretty fucking positive. Mm-hmm. And it's why we push Patreon so hard because it's literally censorship.
You never know when YouTube is going to clap on you. Like,
yep.
And the thing is that all of the videos after Afro Samurai, 99% like ratios. Mm-hmm. It's everything.
Our content didn't change.
Yeah, nothing changed. Everything was well received. I mean, it's
not like we didn't do like big hit. Like we covered Avatar: The Last Airbender for fuck's sake,
and we did it well.
Yeah, and it's huge. It's a fucking 30-something minute video.
Mm-hmm.
Has 20,000 views.
Yep. Like that's something that easily could have peaked over 100K.
Oh, easily. But it could have gotten 300,000 over 2 months or something like that.
Especially with Avatar being back at the peak of popularity that it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
We came out with a pretty unique look at it, and it's just what happens. Like we deal with it. We've dealt with it before. We'll continue to deal with it. And we'll figure it out, hopefully. But there's always that slight, thing in the back of your head that's saying, maybe YouTube canceled your fucking channel and you don't know. It's hard to.
I mean, it's just like we push Patreon for a lot of reasons. Like we push it so that we can be more in touch with our community, so that our community has a hub, to grow at, and so that we're not just faces behind a show that doesn't have any face cam, not just a talking head. But the main reason that we started a Patreon was to not be reliant on YouTube.
Yeah. And also,
that's why.
No matter what we do, we can always continue doing what we're doing, right? So say for some reason YouTube's algorithm changes tomorrow and all of a sudden all of our content isn't appropriate anymore and we get struck down and our channel disappears. Well, we can still upload to YouTube and put that content on Patreon, and that way everybody who's fucking paying us can watch our shit. and YouTube will never be any wiser. You know, it's YouTube is, it's changed. And I think that's the big takeaway from all of this, is that, you know, compared to when we started to where we are now, the atmosphere has drastically changed. And we're lucky enough to have friends in the system, you know, with us, that also have channels, and everything is different, and it's difficult for everybody out there. And it's just like, the whole point is to make things that make people happy, or to, you know, interest people, or to share ideas. And the whole platform has been taken over by vanilla Minecraft videos and like makeup artists. You know, like it's become like the how-to network slash you know, entertain your kids while the pandemic is going on. Like it's just,
well, the best way I feel like I used to describe it is, you know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, YouTube was like the Wild West. Anything that went, you know, it was a frontier that you could trailblaze your own content on.
yep.
And whatever content that might be, you could probably find an audience for it if it was original and it was new and like you put the work in.
Yeah.
And that showed back in the day. And now it feels like you are in a walled city under the eyes of Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah, like there is a terroristic aspect to it, right? Because what lesson did we learn from our Afro Samurai video? I mean, like, I'm asking the audience to think for a second, and you know,
I assumed you weren't just asking me.
What does it tell us as creators, as socially conscious individuals who feel for a group of people that are being targeted by the government? You know, what does it tell us when we speak out in defense, in unity, with passion about something that's going on that is not right? And not only does that video not do well, when the video was touted by one of the creators of the show, right? Like one of the people who worked on Afro Samurai watched that video and left a comment telling us how good a job we did. Right? What does it say to us when YouTube not only shadow bans that video, but then makes us suffer for over 2 months afterwards for standing up? It tells us not to do that. It tells us not only not to do that, but that we're not allowed to do that, and that if we do that, we will be punished. If we didn't have Patreon, we would be out of a job right now. We would be making less than $500 a month right now because of that video, because we stood up and YouTube didn't like it. So it, and I mean the same thing with One Piece. I desperately wanted to do an excellent series on One Piece. We put out a One Piece video. Fucking Toei immediately claimed it, but left it up. So all Toei wanted was our money, right? But when that happened,
I don't think they were even getting the money from it. I think they blocked all ads on it.
Is that what happened?
I don't remember for sure.
I thought they were just taking the money. They might have blocked all ads. I mean, if they blocked all ads, that's worse, right? Because basically what Toei is doing is they're like, oh, we don't want to be seen as the bad guys, but we're still going to kill your video. Because when ads aren't running on your video, YouTube doesn't care about it because it's not making YouTube money, right? So YouTube will not share that video anywhere. The video will die. It will stop dead in its tracks. You look at anybody talking about YouTube, they'll show you their charts. And when a video gets hit, it literally fucking drops to the ground and flatlines forever. So you know, Toei basically told us and we had repercussions after that. It took us another month to bounce back from that One Piece video because YouTube was like, oh, well, you violated copyright. So now you're in trouble. You're a bad person. You're a bad channel. you're a liability to us.
We can't trust you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, no, our shit was fucking fair use. We fought the company backed down, gave us our video back. It's fully monetized again. But still we're bad guys. Like it's like it's scary. It's scary. And we haven't done another video on One Piece since
because of it.
Yeah, and a very similar thing happened with our Tokyo Ghoul video, which is still one of our best performing videos on the channel, where we put up the Tokyo Ghoul video and it was immediately taken down by Majestic or whatever the fuck it was. Marvelous, yeah. And dude, I mean, it would be great to do another Tokyo Ghoul video. That video is going to hit 1 million views, and that video sucks. So it's like, it would be way better to make another, Tokyo Ghoul video and ride on that. But I'm scared that Marvelous will try and take it down again.
Yep.
And if they try and take it down again and they do it in the way that Toei did, we're going to be in double trouble, because we're still suffering from Afro Samurai.
We're still trying to dig ourselves out of the hole. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's everything is a risk. And right now, like, our Patreon is floating us. But you also have to worry, like, if your videos aren't going to be seen, you're not going to get any new patrons. It's just it's a complicated mess. And I think this Leafy situation, whether he deserved it or not, is telling of the atmosphere of YouTube right now, and I imagine that YouTube is scared, because they are constantly leaking money. Yep. And they don't want their advertisers to disappear. So it's a difficult balance between them and the creators, and ultimately, unfortunately, it's their platform. And without us, they'd still be doing fine, because they would get all of the Jimmy Kimmels and the fucking music videos alone, dude. And like, that's the thing, right? That's the fucking thing. WAP, right? Yep. Everybody knows the wet ass pussy. That's monetized. That fucking music video is monetized, dude. Explain to me how that's monetized when Domestic Girlfriend isn't monetized. Like, that is one of the raunchiest videos I've seen in a long time. We all know
it's not fair, dude. The laws don't apply, because they're not laws.
Yeah.
They're just guidelines, and YouTube only applies them to the people that they want to apply them to.
Yep. Guidelines and whims. And that, I mean, I think that's what, like, goes to show you about H3 and Leafy. And it's like, I don't think H3 should be attacked for that. Like, good for him that he's in the good graces of fucking YouTube. Why is Keemstar in the good graces of YouTube? I don't know. But like, they can do that kind of shit, and Leafy couldn't, because Leafy was not popular in the eyes of YouTube as a whole. So it just goes to show the system's fucking broken, and we're just trying to do the best that we can, make the things that make us happy and make you guys happy, and I hope that you enjoy it. All right, Tyler. We have some questions, comments.
God damn, dude. Yeah. We're still going.
That's right. Yeah, I could go all day. I could go all fucking day.
Well, I gotta do some fucking work soon, so let's do a couple comments.
Okay. Well, I put it out to Twitter today. If anybody was interested, asking if anybody wanted to leave a question or a comment. We got a couple. So let's start with Miss Fushi, my girl. Fushi is a streamer. You should check her out on Twitch. Miss Fushi Gaming is her Twitter, at Miss Fushi Gaming. She's an awesome person, and has impeccable taste in purses. But anyway, she asks if we have ever seen an anime that messed us up. It's a little bit ambiguous, but how about you, Tyler? You ever seen an anime that messed you up?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think The Future Diary messed me up a little bit.
I don't know Future Diary.
Yeah, you should watch it. I think I've told you to watch it before, but it's shit goes down, to say the least.
Well, you gotta say more about it. What messed you up? How did it mess you up?
I mean, I don't want to like spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it.
That's fine.
But It's the main female lead has some shit in her past. Like, her parents would like keep her in a cage and shit. And
Ooh.
it's pretty messed up.
Damn.
Yeah, the more you learn about it, I believe her name is Yuno. Okay. The more you're like, oh, fuck. You know, like,
right.
it's got some shit in it.
Nice. For me, Evangelion definitely messed me up a little bit.
Yeah, Evangelion's an easy one too.
Yeah, that one is just so depressing, and strange, and it has so much like Judeo-Christian imagery, and this, like, again, it's like an existential fucking nightmare, you know. That one was definitely, it was just so much to chew on and so much to think about and so much to, it was like, what is the message here, you know? And it's all very vague, and it just kind of leaves you feeling shitty. So I would definitely say Evangelion. And then besides that, The Ancient Magus Bride was a really tough watch for me. I watched that, and I love it. I love that fucking show. The show's amazing. But I watched that when Devin had just gotten sick, right? So she has a kidney disease that popped up out of fucking nowhere, and it was a nightmare. There was, you know, emergency room visits and trying to get it diagnosed, trying to figure out what it was, because when it first happened, you know, her blood pressure skyrocketed. We didn't know if there was something wrong with her heart. We didn't know if there was something wrong with her thyroid. We didn't know what it could be. So we were terrified that, you know, she was going to like die at any point. So while she was in bed, like trying to relax, I was watching The Ancient Magus Bride, and it's just this story of this young girl who has, ironically, kind of a condition that will like end her life young, and she has led just like such a sad existence up until the point where she is bought by this fucking like English fucking demon mage, and she gets to kind of like learn to live and love again, but it really dives into her backstory a lot. And she was just like, you know, her mom killed herself, and like there's all this stuff, and it's just like emotionally like very fucking heavy, dude. Ancient Magus Bride is beautiful. I think everybody should watch that anime for sure. Plus it has this great English, you know, fairy vibe going for it, which is really cool. So yeah, Ancient Magus Bride that's definitely one that'll fuck you up good. Watch him, Fushi. You and Ant. I want to see you guys take cry pictures together with me. It'll be great. Also tell Ant Dude I said hi. All right. Stephanie Amber 7 says, would you ever do a discussion on who is the best mentor from different anime series? I assume you mean a video. Probably. That sounds like something that Tyler would like to do. He's been talking about doing more variety type videos instead of just focusing on one anime. But I feel like you haven't watched a lot of anime with mentors in it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like a mentor. Like Gandalf keeps coming to mind, but he's not an anime. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's Master Roshi from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
There's Jiraiya Sensei from Naruto. Jiraiya is my favorite by far ever. You know, even there's mentors in March Comes In Like a Lion. Like,
okay, actually, now I'm thinking about it a little bit, there's definitely some mentors that like I would be down to talk about that are like less old man mentor. Like, for example, Madoka Magica has Mommy, who's an excellent mentor. And then she fucking dies. Like, that would be an interesting video.
Yeah. Yeah, to like do a bunch of mentors.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I love that idea, Stephanie. Who's your favorite mentor?
Even fucking All Might is a really interesting mentor because he loses all of his power, you know?
Yeah. Wait, who say it again?
All Might?
All Might, yeah. You think All Might's
like,
a good mentor?
No, he's an interesting mentor.
Oh, an
because
interesting
he loses
mentor.
all of his power. He has this whole, power suck vacuum that happens to him, essentially.
That's true.
And he becomes a better mentor when he's powerless than he ever was when he had his abilities.
That's true. And Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho is a great mentor. I love Genkai. Yeah, this is actually a really good idea, fucking Stephanie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also,
And Hunter x Hunter has a ton of mentors in it too. What's her name? Bixie?
oh yeah, Bisky.
Bisky, that's it.
Yeah, she's great. And Kite.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I can't remember their original then.
Oh yeah,
the guy who always had his half shirt untucked.
Also, yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really great video idea. Thank you, Stephanie Amber. Also, thank you for always replying to our tweets. I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. So Luca Zanella says, City Hunter is ultimately a positive series with a happy ending. What do you think happened to Hojo to turn it so upside down at the start of Angel Heart? And I would love to answer that question, but I have not watched Angel Heart, so I am not versed on that. I am sorry, but I do love City Hunter, and I love that you love City Hunter. So thank you for replying to us, and hopefully next time we'll hit you up with an answer that we can actually answer with. John Bentham says, is there any show that you watch that makes you feel really motivated to finish a task or accomplish a goal? Tyler,
Yeah.
hit me with
I'm
an
trying to
answer.
think of what. But I definitely know that there are shows like that. I feel like there's a lot of like shonens that are kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking through our backlog right now to see if anything sticks out at me.
Yeah. Is there any show that you watch that makes you feel really motivated to finish a task or accomplish a goal? That's a for me, that's kind of a hard thing. It's like I never really get I don't know if a show has ever really made me feel that way necessarily. Maybe podcasts, honestly, are usually more inspiring to me, or documentaries are really inspiring to me a lot. Especially music documentaries. I remember watching this documentary on Lil Peep, which I never listened to Lil Peep. I'm not really into Lil Peep saying about like drugs and stuff a lot, and I'm really not into that unless it's like ironically Post Malone or The Weeknd. I don't know why I like Post Malone or The Weeknd, but I do. I'm sorry. Okay, like sometimes pop just gets in your head. But yeah, I watched this documentary on Lil Peep, and it was very inspiring, and sad as well because Lil Peep is dead. But
Womp womp.
yeah, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs in your butt. He didn't die from doing
As
drugs.
we've talked about before.
Yeah. But yeah, documentaries, definitely a lot of music documentaries. Music is really inspiring to me.
That makes sense.
What about you, Tyler? You got an answer yet?
I think one of them that I liked a lot was Assassination Classroom. I think that was a pretty motivational show.
Really?
Yeah. Did you ever watch it?
Was that the one with the chick with the one boob that has a circle on it?
No.
Okay, then no.
Whatever you know. It has Koro Sensei, who's like the giant octopus,
With the smiley face?
yellow octopus.
He's
You know who I'm talking
He's got
about?
like smiley face?
Yeah, he's got a big ass smiley face with a globe head.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
basically.
about. I've never seen that anime.
Great anime, dude. You should watch it. But yeah, it's as somebody who is really interested in teaching and really likes that aspect of our job and like, showing people things they don't know and giving information. That show in particular and the way that Koro Sensei is dedicated to his teaching and his students really motivates me to kind of do something similar for our viewers.
Nice. Fuck yeah. I was just reminded of Kakegurui, which
Also, that show has a bunch of people who just suck at what they're trying to do, and just watching them just get better through proper teaching is like gives me the warm heart wiggles.
hell yeah. You know what? Ironically, got me motivated to fucking like, be better in my relationship. Was this not that I'm bad in my relationship, but just like communication wise and stuff? Was this fucking show called Married at First Sight? That Devin got me like hooked on. It's on Netflix. It's fucking trash. Don't watch it. But yeah, that show. The show got me all hyped up.
That sounds awful, first of all.
It is. It's terrible. It's a terrible show. Don't watch that shit.
Second of all, we already talked about this earlier, but fucking Mob Psycho, dude, is a great motivational show for, like, bettering yourself and stuff. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Watching Mob have this crazy power, but go through the difficulties that fucking everybody goes through and overcome them just through hard work and effort. Yeah. That's good shit.
It's good shit. So Cole wants to know, when is Devin and Blue going to hijack the podcast for an episode? Probably never.
Yeah, probably never.
I don't know about Amy, but I know that Devin would.
I never see that happening.
Yeah, Devin would be stressed out trying to come up with things to talk about. For sure. She'd probably start talking about murderers because the main podcast that she listens to is Morbid and Crime Junkie.
Oh my god, they could actually do a podcast together just fine.
Oh my god. Well, the Bonsai PopCast though, like, just turn it
maybe
into
not that, but like
Bonsai
like my
Pop Your
girlfriend
Brains
knows
cast.
all sorts of she knows all sorts of shit about murderers.
Yeah. Omni Penguin Mecha wants to know what our favorite sci-fi series is. First thing that comes to mind is Star Wars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, okay, movie-wise, Star Wars, but if we're talking about like TV series, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Star Trek: The Next Generation is really good.
Yeah, it is.
That one is really good. I also liked
fucking Picard, dude.
What's the Star Trek with where they get sent out into like the ass end of the galaxy? And the main character is the chick who plays Red and Orange is the New Black. I'm gonna have to check this out. Star Trek. It's people are screaming at me right now. I can hear it.
I don't know.
It's not
honestly.
Enterprise. It's
Voyager.
Might be Voyager. 1995 to 2001. Yeah, it's Voyager. It's not or was it Deep Space Nine?
Deep Space Nine, the main character is a large black guy.
Okay, it was Voyager then.
So
yeah, it was Voyager. Voyager was fucking good. I liked Voyager a lot.
Cisco is Deep Space Nine's main guy.
Yeah, I like Voyager. If we're talking anime, man, dude, there's so much sci-fi anime out there. For fuck's sake, I mean, Space Captain Harlock is awesome. Galaxy Express 999 is awesome. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is fucking
is
sci-fi.
Trigun considered sci-fi? Because
Trigun is absolutely sci-fi.
There we go. Well, Trigun is like one of my favorites.
Yeah, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop is fucking sci-fi. Like, that is a lot of shit to pick from.
Yeah, there's a lot of good sci-fi out there.
And
we haven't even seen Space Dandy yet.
Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna say my favorite sci-fi anime, oh my god, I mean, Ghost in the Shell is fucking science fiction.
Ooh, Ghost in the Shell is
science
really
fiction.
good. Fuck.
Fucking Overfiend 2, Legend of the Demon Womb is science fiction. Mecha Hitler and his dildo machine. Like, the list goes on and on and on.
That was a thing, man.
Oh my god.
And we're like missing stuff like Steins Gate.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, that's a really hard question.
Oh, fuck. Even Flip Flappers might be considered sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, fucking, I think even...
Dude, next year for, whatchamahoo's month, I can't think of what it's called. Like Pride Month. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We should cover Flip Flappers.
I have no idea what Flip Flappers is.
You should watch it. It's great.
All right. Gundam is
like
sci-fi
this...
too. Fucking all the Gundam, dude, is sci-fi.
Yeah, I was gonna say all Gundams. Gurren Lagann.
Yep. Promare. It's fucking dude.
Dude, Serial Experiments Lane.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
If you had to pick one,
there's too much, man.
If you had to pick one, what would you pick? Like off
Well,
the
Trigun.
Trigun?
Would be my pick.
I might go with Space Captain Harlock. Just because I really like that show and I don't feel like enough people watch it, so maybe.
Oh, that fucking reminds me. I'm so mad at fucking Mother's Basement. God.
It's not his fault, dude. It's the fucking.
I know it's not his fault, but I'm mad at him anyway.
Yeah. I mean, do we want to talk about it?
Just to explain why I'm not actually mad at Jeff.
Yeah.
But Jeff got to do a Figurama collectors.
He got to do a Figurama collectors sponsorship that we were promised a year ago.
Yeah. And on his newest Made in Abyss video. But that's not the part that I'm mad about. Totally fine that he got the sponsorship. The part that I'm mad about is that when we did a sponsorship with them a year ago or whatever it was, they sent us a Thor statue. Okay.
Which is cool.
Which is fine.
To be fair, that is a dope ass Thor statue.
But they sent him the fucking 20th anniversary Trigun statue.
And it's dope.
That I wanted so fucking bad.
Yep.
Ugh.
It's like a $1,500 statue.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it is a beautiful work of fucking art.
Yep.
I'm
That was
mad.
supposed
Anyway,
to be
we should
our
wrap this up, dude. It's been
sponsorship.
2 hours.
It's supposed to be our sponsorship. That's
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
It's been a good podcast. It's been a consistent conversation.
Yeah.
Cole wants to know what our favorite board game is.
Board game?
Yeah.
I like Stratego.
I've never played Stratego. What is Stratego?
The basics are, it's kind of like a checkerboard.
Okay.
And you have, I don't remember exactly how many pieces, but like maybe 20 pieces each.
All right.
And each piece has a number on it, so it's really easy to like make these like Star Wars themed or like different themed things based on, you know, whatever franchise you're talking about. But like basically you'll have a bunch of different numbers going from like I think 2 to 10, and you start moving your pieces, and each side has a flag, and you're trying to capture the enemy's flag essentially. And you can attack an enemy. You can't see the numbers of the other team. So you can attack an enemy and try to beat it. And if your number is higher, you beat it. But that would make 10s invincible. So each side also has a spy that can beat the 10s. But the spies can be beaten by everything else. And then there's bombs and stuff too.
I'm lost.
So it's all about sacrificing the right things at the right times to figure out where the flag is, figuring out where the enemy's number 10 is, and then getting your spy there without it getting killed. Like it's a very strategic game. It's a lot of fun.
Hence the name Stratego.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I would say right now Shogi, probably, if that counts as a board game. But other than that, Mousetrap is fun as long as I don't have to set it up. I also like Sorry.
And the other ones. Some of my other favorite games, if you haven't played any of the Forbidden series, highly recommend those games.
I haven't checked them out. Shit, we didn't even talk about video games today.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. There's Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, and Forbidden Sky. And they are all co-op board games.
Okay.
So you can play with 2 to, I think, 6 people on all of them. And it's all of you playing to beat the game. And it's hard. Like, I played 4-person Forbidden Desert a couple weeks ago. And we lost every single time we played.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, it's not easy. But they're very, very fun co-op games.
I also really like Catan. Have you ever played Catan?
Oh, yeah, Catan's really cool, too.
Catan is endlessly fucking fun. As long as you have, like, a shit ton of people to play with. That's the biggest problem with Catan, is finding enough people to play. But yeah, dude. The board games are real. Now's a good time to get into board games. Go get a shogi board. Practice shogi. Become a shogi champion. Don't try to get a traditional one because they're like $700.
Yikes.
But you can find shogi boards on Amazon. It's all good. Everybody, I would like to thank you so much for listening to this week's Bonsai PopCast. We are Bonsai Pop. And before we go, just gotta give a shout out to our Super Saiyan God of the Week. It is Arxal My dude, thank you so much for being a god, for being a nitro booster in the Discord, for being the top tier, the top boy, doing the thing. And our very lucky patron of the week is Schneecats09. My dude, thank you so much for being our patron. We appreciate it, and we think that you are an awesome, beautiful individual who deserves all the best in the world. You're the greatest. And if you would like a chance to be the super lucky patron, all you gotta do is join the Patreon, dude. We pick randomly all the time. It's good stuff, and we will appreciate you just as much as we appreciate these fine individuals here. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tyler.
Tyler has some information for you guys. It's important. So Tyler, where can they find us on Twitter?
It's at Bonsai_pop.
Where can they find us on the Instagram?
The same thing, at Bonsai_pop.
Where can they find us on the Twitches?
It's twitch.tv/BonsaiPop.
Bonsai_pop. Tyler.
Oh, it's underscore there too?
Yeah, it's underscore there too.
You always ask me this, and I don't know.
I tell you every time.
You're always asking me.
Tyler, where can they send us a Gmail?
At Bonsaipopteam@gmail.com.
That's right. Tyler, where can they find us on the YouTube? Because we haven't been saying that.
Have we not been?
No.
Wow, good job, us. It's at youtube.com/bonsaipop.
Yeah, youtube.com/bonsaipop.
No underscore on that one.
Check it out, because you'll like what
or just
you
search
see.
Bonsai Pop.
That's right. Oh yeah, I mean, search Bonsai Pop, all this fucking shit's gonna come up. So, you can't get lost. You can't get lost. Anyway, everybody, I hope that you are well. I hope that you are having a great day. I hope that it's beautiful. I hope that your bowel movements are regular. And have a good week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.